Hello, so today we're back with another tier list video, except it's not a tutorial, it's an actual video. We're going to be ranking all the World at War, Call of Duty World at War, the Black Ops 3 Zombies maps with Mr. M.
I'm here.
You could have made it, you could have done your intro so many other different ways, but you decided to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Alright.
Hello everybody from his channel. I'm also here, so
yeah, let's just get into this. Alright. So both of us has played Call of Duty Zombies a lot religiously, right?
yeah.
Alright, so this would all make sense. Now how we're gonna do this, we're gonna drag these tiles of whatever map it's set to which spot it deserves to be in S, A, B, C, D tier, or don't know it. If you don't know the map well enough, then you can just put it in this tile. I've seen some people do it with their tier list videos.
I'm probably gonna put Zitsabo in that tile, but I know a little bit about it still.
So let's start with Noct. The most bare bones map you can get. Now, let's be honest here. All of us have played this map at some point, and it's one of the most iconic maps ever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't save it from the fact that the replayability is low because there's not much to do.
Yeah, it's nostalgic, but it got old.
And we're going off the first versions of those maps, so there's not going to be any remastered versions of Kino or any of the older maps. It's only going to be the oldest version it can be. Unless the map is completely different, like Call of the Dead from Tag to Totem. If it's that different, then it's going to be on a separate tile. But we're not doing BO4, we're doing World at War to Black Ops 3. So
I would
Kino,
say B to C tier. Maybe a D.
I wouldn't say D tier because it's iconic, but I want to put it at the top of C tier. It's an iconic map, it's good, I love it, but it's just not much to do in it, so it's going in C tier. Now Varrock, this one is the first map that introduced perks and multiple box locations. What do you think?
Correct, yes. That's pretty good, but it also is very small and there's like not really much to do in it. But
yeah, I can agree. The only thing you can really do is get good weapons and perk locations. Wait, did I say perk location? Yeah, I mean, it did have different perk locations, not just the one for this machine. Honestly, I think I want to put this in C tier. It's not bad, but again, there's not that much to do in it. And it's really tight packed, but that kind of adds to the experience. It doesn't really harm it that much. And the atmosphere is just creepy. Probably the scariest map, but I think it has to go in C tier, but above Noct. So I'll just put it to temporary. So now we got Shino Numa.
We're gonna run out of space on this board.
I don't know, let's just see it then. So Shino Numa is the first one that introduced Wonder WAW. The first wonder weapon, other than the ray gun, to appear in a map, ever. It's pretty good, but the only thing they implemented different was that they really it introduced all the OG characters of Ultimates that we all know and love, so it has to go above. It has to at least go in between Varrock and Noct, because actually no, I think it should go above Noct near C tier because
it's got the flogger too, though.
I mean, it did implement traps. I'm deciding whether to put it in B tier or C tier. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B tier. It's not bad. It implemented the Wonder WAW, which is an amazing weapon, but the bad thing was that it takes away your Juggernaut, but it's still good. And it introduced traps and it introduced the Hellhounds. So I'm putting it at the bottom of B tier temporarily. It could be changed later, but that's just till later. Another reason, I think we've actually found our first A tier. This implemented a very vital part of Call of Duty, the Pack-a-Munch machine.
Yes.
I don't know where to put it because maybe I can move this later, but it's going in A tier. It's a fun map. It's a cool low layout. I love camping at the top of that one balcony we all know as we play.
Replayability is
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
it's Doris has the pack punch machine, all 4 perks. It has wonder weapons. It did a lot of good that Shinonuma did worse with, and it's just generally better.
Practicing Ghost Strafe.
So now we got our first Black Ops 1 map, Kino de Tosen.
It's like a.
And that is the end of
It's like
World at War, zombies.
This is the big.
Moving on.
Yeah, kind of about it. I honestly I hate to say this because I love this map a lot, but it's underrated. It's considered to be one of the best maps, but it didn't do anything that different from Doris.
It's got the thunder gun.
Yeah, it has the thunder gun, but what else did they implement differently? That was actually good. The Nova cars was just annoying. They already had teleporters. I want to put it above Doris.
Yeah, what about Moon, huh? What about Moon?
We're not talking about Moon. That's in the final.
It has Nova cars there too, and they're worse.
Yeah, they're worse in that map, but that doesn't mean they aren't bad in this one too. Should I change it? Because this map is definitely better than Doris, but it also think I should just put it in B tier. So I'm gonna change Doris in B tier. It's not bad at all, but it's not the best either. I'm gonna put Kino above Doris. Do you have anything against that? Do you want to put it anywhere higher?
I would set at least a low A tier.
Alright. I'll put it in low A tier. It's kind of underrated, but I'll still put it in A tier. It's not bad at all. I love playing this map, but it's just underrated as frick. I'm just gonna move this a bit.
I guess I like it so much because I never got really into the DLC maps until a long while. I played on Kino der Toten and all the other ones for years.
Yeah, because the only other option in Black Ops 1 was 5, and that map was hard, which we're already on 5 right now, so I think this map didn't really get the love it deserved because it was overshadowed by Kino. Even though it's a really difficult map to play on, because there's not that many good training spots and stuff, I think it deserves somewhere in A tier because it's a really good map. Even though it had trashy implements like the Wonder WAW and the Pentagon Thief was a boring round change from the Hellhounds, it also had the bonfire set, which was really good. Made the pack one so much cheaper, and you didn't have to go do those stupid DEFCON 5 maps when you got the freaking bonfire sale. So that's pretty cool.
It was so hard of a map though.
It was a difficult map, but if you knew how to play correctly, or at least played it enough to enjoy it, then it was a good map. So I'm putting in A tier. It deserves
solid
it.
A.
And not to mention that you get to play as JFK in this map. Pretty good map.
Oh yeah, JFK. That is another good reason.
Alright. Now we got Ascension.
Yep.
This one is kind of in between the... Hold on, I'm thirsty right now. I'm gonna take a sip of our water.
Ascension is at least a C. Those monkeys, they suck.
Does it really deserve C tier though? Because even though the monkeys were annoying, that was really the only bad thing about the map. It brought back the thunder gun, it brought us PhD flopper, and it also brought us stamina up. Is it really that bad?
I guess.
Yeah, the monkeys steal your perks, but if you have a full team or at least someone else to help you, you can get a free perk and a max ammo. It has to at least be in B tier. It's a pretty good map. It brought us PhD, but it's not that bad. I'll call it dead.
All of the dead.
I think it also should be.
Like, let's say they're sliding, they jump towards.
I love this map.
And then they wall off.
It brought us.
Yeah,
let's get one thing out of the way. The VR living kind of sucks, and George Romero is annoying as frick. But the atmosphere, the scavenger is decent in the mid to low rounds. And it also brought back PhD, which was really helpful since you can camp on the lighthouse and jump down without any problems. Also, so you can use the scavenger without no problems. I know some people are gonna
Yeah.
hate on me for this, but the VR11 is actually okay of weapon. If you shoot your teammates, they get an insta kill and zombie blood, and it gets rid of George temporarily, or at least calms him down. It's not the VR11 regarding aside. It has to be at least in B tier. It's a good map. It has to be above Ascension because how good it is, but it has to stay in B tier because it has some flaws. I also hate the ice.
Shangri-La.
This one
I just like
is okay. The only good thing they really brought about this map was
playing around with like
the wonder weapon, which was the baby gun. It was really good, but the map also had tons of flaws. The bosses were annoying to deal with. Dealing with those monkeys sucked unless you timed the shot properly to get different power up that was better than what you got.
Screechers.
The screechers, I hated those. It's okay. The only thing saving it is the wonder weapon, and the atmosphere looks beautiful. It has to be above, it has to be at the top of C tier for now.
Slide and then jump back.
It's not as good as the other maps. It's probably the most lowest of BO1, but it's still good. So I'm putting it in C tier. It has to be around the top.
This ain't even just for wall bounce.
Well,
So now we got Moon. We got Moon.
Just slide and then like
This is a pretty,
Okay.
this is a pretty balanced mixture of a map, but it has lots of things good and also some things bad. Moon's good sides. One, I like the idea of zombies being in space, and the wonder weapon is one of the best. The zap gun and the wave gun is one of the best. So much ammo. It's an insta kill on no matter what round you're on. So much ammo, and it has 2 variants, which brings good benefits to the match.
Devices too.
Yeah, the Gersh devices are really good too. It was a good replacement for the monkey bombs, and it honestly does better because it's an insta kill whenever zombies
And
are
the
nearby
hack
it.
thing. The
And
thing
most
where
of all,
you
the
can
range of the
hack
Gersh
stuff.
device is
Hacking device.
long range. The hacking device is pretty good in terms of getting free stuff, but there's also lots of flaws with this map. Those big saw machines that block your path when you try to get around the map. The fact that you can barely hear anything with the astronaut helmets on sucks. And sometimes the zero gravity can help you in some cases, jumping around hordes, but it also can get you killed in some situations. Not to mention those jump pads that instantly kill you when you're in that one air area.
I hate those.
This has lots of flaws, but I think it's still a pretty decent map, so I'm putting it in C tier. I wish I could find a really balanced spot for this map, but it's mostly okay. It has good qualities, but it's overshadowed by all its flaws. Alright, now we're on Black Ops 2. Should we start with the Green Run maps or Transit? Even though Transit is technically a part of it, there's also the survival maps that are separate to it.
Let's start with Transit, since that's like the first one that you play, other than the other one.
Alright, Transit sucks, we all know that. It has to be in D tier, it cannot be any higher than that.
Unpopular opinion, I kind of like played it a lot when I was little, and I
Yeah,
say
but
that it doesn't deserve it.
If you didn't have the DLCs, it was all you played. An unpopular opinion is widespread that Transit is hated, but just because it's bad doesn't mean it has at least some qualities. It's good on paper. The map is good on paper, but the execution was terrible. The only thing that really made it bad was that it was a last generation. If it was put in like the Black Ops 3 engine, it would have been so much better. Because
I'm still waiting for
to
that
its-
remaster of Transit.
all of us were waiting for that remaster Transit. Now let's list off the downsides and then the upsides. The downsides is quite literally everything. The wonder weapon is trash. The process building, getting all around the map with all that crap is annoying as frick. And the denizens, the fog, you can barely see crap. You can also, we all know for a fact that the bus mechanic sucks because he just Ted leaves you behind every time you try to get anything done. And some people may say to all this skill issue, but keep in mind, as soon as you get into the map, you're instantly met with the room of zombies. That's a good start because you get points off the bat. But then once you do that, you have a limited amount of time to craft the turbine, but that's not too difficult. But once you reach the bus once you reach the diner, you have literally only 90 seconds, a minute and a half, to get all the parts, get enough points to open up all the doors to get all the stuff, and run back to the bus in time to get to the next location. That's not enough time for anything to get done. I feel like something they should have done with transit, at least with the bus mechanic, is make it so you can like buy a remote or something to stop the bus temporarily, so you can actually get stuff done.
You can stop the bus temporarily.
Yeah, with the EMPs, but it's, well, actually, I think the EMPs are an upside and a downside. The downside is that it isn't really much, except stops the bus temporarily, and also kills the Avogadro one shot. And I think during the Easter egg you use it, so that's the good qualities. But I know there's gonna be a lot of people in the comments saying this.
Except for when you get EMPs out of the box and accidentally grab it and spread your monkey bomb.
We all know that the jet gun is complete and utter garbage, but it's only good in one singular situation.
Which is what?
We all know that the jet gun sucks and that it breaks, but that's only if you spam it. If you time the shots and take breaks while using it, it's technically infinite ammo and infinite damage. So you can use it as long as you want. You just have to make sure you don't hold down the button and you get to keep it.
It breaks in like 2 seconds.
But if you use it very little, it can still be a pretty effective weapon. It doesn't regard that it doesn't help the case that transit sucks. It's still going in D tier. That's really the only two good qualities. The EMP help out sometimes, and the jet gun has infinite ammo and damage, but it still doesn't regard the fact that transit sucks completely. Now we got town. Probably one of the more simple, but also one of the best maps ever.
One of the best simple ones.
It's an instant A tier. Like, it's simple, but you can get stuff done. It's not like transit where you have to go through the whole process to go get Pack-a-Punch, which is tedious. It's instantly right there in front of you.
We all remember when we started on round 10, Pack-a-Punch the starting pistol every time.
There's 5 perks on this map. Free Pack-a-Punch, and 2 good spots for camping. And if you have stamina up, they can get some decent training spots to go with. But the one thing that this map struggles on is the lava. It's the one downside of town, but that's also a downside with transit too. So
well, I mean, the lava has an upside though.
What though?
When you go in the lava for a little bit, you get like a tiny little, like half a second speed boost.
Wait, do you actually get a speed boost if you run in the lava?
I figured that out. If you run in the lava, it gives you like a half a second speed boost.
I never knew that, but that still doesn't help the case that the lava kind of sucks. But the one thing helping it is Juggernog and Stamina, which are on that map. But also on co-op, there is Tombstone, but Tombstone kind of sucks. The only thing it's good for is getting all the perk glitches. That's the one good thing about it. If you use Tombstone, most likely you're a player that cannot stay alive long enough to actually survive and have to rely on getting your weapons back to get through the rounds without losing your stuff.
I always get double tap, Juggernog, speed, stamina. That's the ones that I always go with.
As much as quick revive is a crutch on solo matches, I always get it because I always try to go for the high rounds and I need quick revive because I'm not bad at all. But I sometimes get arrogant when it's too easy and make stupid decisions that get me killed, and quick revive is what it needs to get me back up. So I think we all agree that Town is an A tier. It's not an S, it's really good, but it's not the best compared to the other maps that came after it. Not including the rest of the Craven maps or Die Rise, but we all know that. Farm was a decent map. It had all 4 perks. I think it also had like multiple. I think it had one singular location for the mystery box. But the one thing it struggles on is that there is no Pack-a-Punch, And there's
There's
also
like 2 doors in the whole map.
I guess you're right about that, but it's
And
still
that's
pretty
like-
basic. All you can do is get perks and get weapons from the mystery box. It's the same as Baruch, as in what you can do, but that's pretty much it. I don't want
Too
to put it
small, in my
low.
opinion.
Yeah, just like.
Okay, I got an
Yeah,
idea.
my aim is kind of.
Let's put it in between Darius and Chino. It's not a really bad map, but it's also just didn't do much compared to the others. I don't want to put it
B
above
is
Sentient.
fair.
How many airlings you got?
B is fair, yeah. It's not bad by any means,
I know you got
but it's just an okay map. Now we got Bus Depot.
So you have both.
I think this one is also a low tier because it's just a more downgraded version of Transit, even though it's probably better than Transit if we're being honest. There's no perks. The only thing you have is a mystery box. That's it.
Bus Depot is just transit without the bus. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
go anywhere.
All you have is the mystery box and a very tight locations to train.
200 packs.
I think it deserves C
Not all
tier.
in one time, but like. I
It's
remember
pretty
when,
trash, but it's not terrible.
offered, like, you know,
Let's just keep it in C tier for now until later on.
We haven't got a single S yet.
And then that's how I
Now
got
Die
my
Rise.
airgun for
Not right.
This one,
close, though, 'cause I did, like, the
lots of people are gonna say it's trash, but it has a really good quality to it that I think deserves top of C tier.
So I
The
They
Wonder
put
Weapon.
what's that one
like 40,
perk
40 packs
that's trash?
Who's who? The complete
Who's who?
utter garbage perk that no one cares about?
They put it on the worst map for it too.
Yeah.
They could have put it on a map where you have actually room to get back and revive yourself.
Yeah. And plus you start with a starting pistol. What if you're around like 30 or 50 and you spawn with a starting pistol and have to fight your way through to get your stuff back? Not to mention you also have to
I know.
res yourself. So that's also just garbage.
And also, pack-a-punch machine falling down the elevator before you can get your gun
so
back.
much better now.
Yeah. And also not to mention that they teased PhD in this map, which would have been one of the most useful maps to have it on because of how many high slopes you're going to take fall damage from and crap.
Of course they teased that.
I'm on pizza right now.
Alright.
I used to get
It would have been so good on that map.
Alright, we ran out of space. I think I'm going to put Bus Depot in D tier.
But the special
That would've been
rounds
such a
are
clean
not
shit
that
shot,
bad.
though.
Wait, what were we talking about again? Oh, right. Die Rise. I completely forgot because I'm trying to get all these maps in order. The one good quality about Die Rise is that it has the Slick of Fire, which is really good. It's one of my favorite Wonder Weapons, but that's the only good quality. So C tier.
What about the special round? It's pretty good, I think.
The only good thing is that you get a free perk. The jumping jacks are really fast, jump around, and if you miss a single shot, then you're not getting that free perk. The only way you could do this is through the Bowie knife and through.
I don't know where my movement is right
It's cool for like the novelty of it.
Yeah, I guess, but it's still kind of bad.
I can't aim.
You can just hide in a corner with the trample steam and get your free perks.
Beams are so bad.
Alright, next in line we got probably our first S tier, Mob of the Dead.
Oh, that's almost an S.
Almost an
everything.
S. Name
Yes, it's
name one bad thing about Mob of the Dead.
I don't think I can.
Because that's it. The only bad quality is that Brutus shakes your screen. But you can get around to that. It's the first S tier. It brought so many good things to the map. It brought a new set of characters. It brought a good weapon, the Blundergat, and two variants. It also brought the really cool plane mechanic that you have to get a pack-a-punch. It brought the afterlife mechanic, which got reused in Shadows of Evil. I could just go on and on about how good this map is. It has to be S tier. It cannot be any lower.
And the next one is
I think this is A tier, top of A tier.
Buried is like an S. What are you talking about?
You said that Mob of the Dead is not an S tier, but you say Buried is?
I love
How?
Buried.
Yeah, I also love Buried, but it also did some things wrong.
Look at that.
And it has nothing to do with the Easter egg. There's like 2 things wrong with this map. One is the witches, but they're pretty easy to deal with. And the
You get a
second
free
downside,
What is my aim?
is, what is his name? Leroy Arthur? You have to constantly
Leroy.
drag him around the map, and if you shoot him once by accident, he's getting back in his jail cell, and you have to wait for the key to respawn. The
Yes,
only
but
thing
you
that
know
he's
how
good
many
for
things you can
is
do with
opening
Leroy?
up perk locations and replacing the mystery box. I mean, he's actually pretty good for some things. It's A tier, but it's also really easy. It doesn't bring that much of a challenge because of the amount of good weapons that are in it.
If you get down to the last zombie of the round, and it's a crawler, and you feed Leroy candy, he'll pick it up and baby it around for you.
We all can negotiate that it has to be in at least A tier. It has flaws, which Mob of the Dead rarely has of, or the next upcoming map. But it's still really good. Don't get me wrong, I love this map. But it has some flaws. It has to be an A tier. Now Origins, another S tier.
That's
Let me list
different.
5 things about it that barely tip the iceberg on how good this map is.
The staffs.
The staffs, the robots are cool. The Easter egg is great. The characters' premise, probably one of our most favorite crews, is introduced on this map. It could just go on, and this really shed the light on the new story for the Ether story. It has to be S tier. But the one thing I struggle to think about it is to put it in front of Mob of the Dead or behind it. Because both maps are really good, but
You
I
can,
just...
you can get a golden shovel and dig up a perk too.
You know what
That's
recoil
cool.
smoothing is?
I mean, honestly, Origins had a lot more to offer in terms of weapons, so I'm gonna put it above Mob of the Dead. But this was a really hard decision to make. I love both maps. It was hard to make this decision, but I think it has to be in front of Mob of the Dead, in my opinion.
Apparently it makes no recoil.
Now
Black
we're
Ops
on
3.
It only works on
Short little intermission so I can play
Shadows of
YouTube.
Evil. I
Subscribe to
saved
me.
I saved a room in A tier and S tier.
Yes.
It has
High A tier.
high A tier. It's
Or S
really
tier.
good map. It introduced a lot of good things. It brought to light a lot of things that Black Ops 3 had to offer, like the Pumpkins and Pack-a-Punch camos are different here, but that doesn't mean much. The Wonder Weapon is really cool, and it's just done lots of good things. Top of A tier. I don't think anything can top Shadows of Evil in terms of being A tier. It has to be top of A tier.
Yes.
Not the Rise and Drag. This did the same thing with Origins, where there's elemental weapons that you can craft.
Yeah, the bows.
But I think it was either more difficult or easier. I don't know because I haven't actually played this map. But I will do tomorrow. I may make a video on it. But it may not do well since it's kind of irrelevant to play Black Ops 3 maps.
I know some
Unless you
of
look
it.
at-
Sir?
I
I
think
would almost put it in a don't know it, but it's got to be at least a B. I know
I've seen a
little
lot of
bit
good things about this map. It has to be
Sir? I
A
think you
tier.
just made me even better.
But this also brought a lot of good qualities, so I think it should be above Shadows of Evil. But it really hurts to put it here. I think it has to be in between Buried and Shadows of Evil because I haven't played this map myself, so I wouldn't know.
High B tier. Or like a mid A tier.
Alright, but I think people understand that I don't truly understand this map because I haven't played it yet, but I will soon.
What's your design?
Really soon. I'm just gonna shove it right here.
I just put
A little bit cramped, but just deal with it. Now we got the last 2 maps in Black Ops 3.
Did
Go
we
run
do
Kirby.
Doris yet?
We already did Doris this year, right? C tier?
That's Die Rise.
Well, that's Die Rise. Alright, yeah. Doris was in B tier, in the middle of B tier. And it's the same as the Giant. There's literally almost no difference. Gorod, it has to be A tier. It did some good things. With the Wonder Weapon,
The
it brought back
dragons
the
and everything too.
dragons, the dragon special weapon, the PPSH, the Pack-a-Punch location, the Easter egg, the boss fights. And I love this next one. It brought back the PPSH, one of my most favorite World of War weapons. And they brought this back. It was a really good return for such a classical and good weapon. It's
The
A
boss
tier.
fight at the end was epic.
Now Revelations. I actually
Pretty easy. It's got a lot of good stuff. It's got the permanent perk.
Small as
yeah, it also has the only complaints is that it recycled the same boss fight, but it's more difficult from Shadows of Evil. It wasn't
It's got
anything
the
different.
helmet. You know that one helmet?
Yeah, they also did the helmet, but I think I may or may not be wrong, but it was on different maps too. I think this has to be. I actually now I'm considering putting Shadows of Evil in S tier because there's rarely any room for anything else. And plus, Shadows of Evil is a good map. I think it should be in S tier. And then
I
we
can't
put.
really think of anything to take away from Shadows of Evil.
Yeah, there's really no downsides to it. So yeah, change the tier list. This is our tier list. We got. Now let's go over what maps we have in each spot, starting from the bottom and then going to the top. We got Transient Bus Depot in D
I
tier.
think they outdid themselves with Shadows of Evil. But they've got 3 different special rounds.
Yeah, the only thing I complain about Shadows of Evil is one of the special rounds, the meatballs, they're kind of I always my fear instantly goes from 1 to 10 when I go on that round because I hate dealing with how fast they are and they just jump at you and explode. They can almost one-shot you if you don't have Juggernog. That's my only complaint about Shadows, but it's not too difficult to deal with if you have good weapons like a shotgun or LMG.
If you get like 4 of those meatball looking things to hit you all at once, you're like almost dead.
Alright, we all know why Transcend Bus Depot is in D tier. We all know, well, some of these maps in C tier are actually pretty good, but they
Yeah, you
just
put
didn't really
Transit
meet the
in
match.
D tier.
Wait a minute, why is Rugden knocked in front of Derice? Why?
Yeah, if I put it all the way down, this is
I can't. Let's just pretend that Derice is in.
That's Diorite.
Oh, that's Dire. I keep getting mistaken Derice with Dirice. The words are
The
almost
reason
just swapped
Diorite
out.
looks so similar from far away.
It's because they literally have the exact words. The only difference in words is they're
2
missing.
letters changed.
Is Derice has 3 E's instead of 2 E's instead like Dirice. The words are so similar that I mistaken them.
Where
Okay.
even is Derice on this?
Right here, middle of B tier.
There.
Alright, this is our tier list. If any of you in the comments have anything against this tier list, then let me know and why. I think it's a really good tier list, but all of us can agree that Origins, Mob of the Dead, Shadows of Evil are S tier maps.
I have something against it.
What?
I like Transit.
We're ending the video, end the discussion. Bye.